Well, my next guest on the show today is someone who's always been a BJP supporter. I like to call him the market maverick. And he's someone who looks at election results but does not change his portfolio irrespective of what the market verdict is. Vijay Kedia joins us now. Vijay, fantastic to have you back. Thank you for joining us. The mantra or the voice on D Street today is that फिर से मोदी सरकार सेंसेक्स होगा 50,000. Would you agree with that nara on the street today?
The first half maybe, not the second half.
Of course, second half, but the question is when?
When?
Not now. I think whatever has to happen, and this market has fully discounted this Modi Sarkar. So far 50,000 is concerned, that will also happen, even 1 lakh will also happen, but it will take some time. I think event-based upswing in the market is already there. And there is a saying, when there is a party, you should enjoy but don't get drunk. So I think one should not get drunk at this level. This market is fully, yes. So
that is the nifty, but there is no party in the small and mid cap stocks. In fact, in the mid and small cap stocks, there is a bear market feeling.
Exactly, that is what I'm saying. This index is actually meaningless. This new index or new high or even a mid cap index or this main index, it is meaningless because
portfolios are still bleeding.
Poor people are not celebrating, not a part of this party. Yeah. So only handful of shares, like 5 or 10 shares, are actually taking this index to new high. So this is meaningless.
If you had to call out for those people a list of 5 names where you believe one can buy even today, because you know the index is not really reflective of the larger pool of the market. Someone who's completely sat out on the sidelines in the next 5 years, if indeed it's the NDA which is to come back to power, and you do believe that in the next 5 years India is going to do well, what are those 5 companies that one can buy today?
No, I cannot name all those companies because I am very much biased, and whatever stocks I am holding, certainly I am bullish on those shares only, right? But besides all these stocks and all, I think banking is certainly, banking is going to lead this next rally in the market, or next bull market will be led by banking stocks.
So when you're within banks, are there newer names, or would it be only HDFC Bank and ICICI?
No, not HDFC and ICICI and Kotak. ICICI could take part in this, but certainly not like HDFC. Certainly it is going to outperform the index, over index is concerned. But I am more bullish on smaller banks and medium types of banks. And
but you've sold Karnataka
SBI
Bank.
And all.
You've sold Karnataka Bank.
Karnataka Bank is sold long back, yeah. Yes.
No, so what are the other names then?
Then nothing, all small banks, DCB Bank, Federal Bank, CUB, RBL, and all these sort of banks should do well.
Okay. And we have been hearing that as well, you know, that the mid-cap banking pack will perhaps move. We've also been talking about the cyclical story and some of that part of the market also now starting to see a revival. Would you be interested in that segment of the market?
I never invest in cyclical stocks because I do not understand their cycle. The moment I go to buy, they start falling.
Sure.
So it is better to avoid, better to stay where you understand little bit.
So, high beta at all given the current environment, or you'd stay away completely?
No, mid-cap only. I'm middle class person.
The mid-cap maverick.
Mid-cap, yeah. I invest only in mid-cap.
So what within infrastructure do you like? There's everyone spinning their hopes on this overall election move. I know you don't like to play the event, but is there anything that you like?
Of course, they should do well, but I haven't identified any stock so far. So I'm looking for some kind of opportunity, but I don't know when. As it is, I do not have money to. I'm fully invested in the market. So whatever you know, other information or whatever I'm getting, that is just a news to me.
Okay, now let's understand from a market standpoint, why are markets so excited about NDA 2? Let's put things in context here. Whatever NDA 1 could have done, they had the political mandate, they had the majority, they could have done that. If NDA 2 comes back, and which appears on early trends that they are coming back, what can they do which they were not able to do in the last 12 or 18 months? Which will excite the market, because the NDA 1 did take bold steps. Whether they were right or wrong, they took bold steps like implementation of GST, demonetization, RERA,
Aadhaar, and whatever.
Aadhaar. So whatever they could do in their wisdom, they've done that. They had the political bandwidth. Now if NDA 2 comes to power, वो नया क्या करेंगे? So markets are excited, but I'm just asking why.
See, as you know that I'm not a political analyst, but what I have understood and what I'm thinking, you know, what keeps me stay in this market is this, that whatever policies they have laid down in the previous regime, they could not implement them properly. For example, demonetization and all. Although maybe the step was good, but they couldn't implement it properly. And whatever Jan Dhan and Aadhaar and RERA and GST and all these things, I know this time they are also smarter. They will learn from their mistakes. They will also learn from the noise which opposition is making for what people are disliking them. They will certainly learn from their own mistakes, and whatever reforms they had announced, I think those reforms will be they will expedite all those reforms. And the question is why this NDA is coming to the power. This is what, as you are asking, is because for the simple matter ki aur kaun hai.
Sure.
There is no one else who can actually face Modi.
Why do you think
Congress
is losing?
Losing.
Why?
Why Congress is losing? Okay, I will give you 2 points for this. Why Congress is losing? Again, I'm not a political analyst. As a layman, I will just, I'm giving you
you're a voter.
my
You're
own
a voter. Let's
perspective.
hear
As an
Vijay the
observer.
voter.
Yeah, as an observer. I'll tell you, Rahul Gandhi made 2 blunders, according to me, 2 blunders. One blunder was when he went to the Prime Minister in the Parliament and hugged him. And when he came back to his seat, he winked. So that wink actually gave a very indecent kind of signal to the voters. And don't forget that this time 80 million new voters have come to cast their votes, and all of them are young people. They understand what you are doing. And second blunder what Rahul Gandhi did was he started calling Prime Minister Chaukidar Chor hai. I will give you one perspective. India is a poor country. Come what may, 2/3 of population, more than 2/3 of population in India is actually poor. So what is their core asset? What is their asset? Their asset is their family value. You go to any village, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, right? People will call you uncle, or they'll refer you tau, or they'll uncle you. Yeah, like this. This is our family value. This is Indian culture. When a 48 years old man started calling a 69 years young man that you are Chaukidar Chor hai, and that also without any corruption charges against him, whereas his entire family is out on bail. So this is what does not go well with the people, with the electoral for the in eyes of voters. I think this was the biggest blunder he or his party did in his life.
But when Vijay Kedia comes on TV, people expect one thing. What is Vijay Kedia likely to buy? What is on his radar? And if Vijay Kedia is claiming that he's fully invested, but let me hypothetically create an example that you get fresh flows from selling a property or by selling something, what would you like to buy at the current juncture? The compulsion of not having liquidity is perhaps the reason why you're not buying. But hypothetically, if you had cash and if you have to buy one stock.
So first thing I will tell you, I do not mix 2 things.
Okay.
I do not put my property money in real estate and in stock.
No, if you had cash, let me rephrase
anyway.
it.
Now, having said that, as I said that I like bankings. Maybe if I have money, I would buy some of the banks, maybe DCB banks, or certainly not Karnataka Bank as of now. Okay, so maybe DCB Bank or some RBL Bank or
More
Federal
of
Bank.
Federal after the numbers?
Sorry?
Because the earnings weren't at par with the expectations this
Karnataka?
time. Federal.
Sorry.
Will you buy more of Federal? Even after the
No,
numbers?
I don't have Federal Bank.
Okay.
Yeah. So fresh purchase.
Which is the bank you own? Which is one bank you own?
Right now?
Yeah.
DCB Bank.
Okay. Before the ladies take over, I have a very simple follow-up question, which is that the 3 big investments, and this is public domain. We've discussed this on this forum. You've discussed those on various other forums. Sudarshan Chemicals, it's a 3-4-year-old investment. Vaibhav Gems or Vaibhav International now,
Global,
again it's a Vaibhav Global, it's a 3-4-year-old investment. And you made an investment in a niche IT company, Repro. You own about 6% stake there, if I'm not wrong. 5.5–6% stake there. You think that there is, in terms of the way you understand the company and the way earnings trajectory is moving, the stocks are down reasonably from the recent highs. But as an investor, are you still committed to 3 of your large holdings?
Yeah, of course. I am not bothered. Let me tell you, all these stocks
the price is not forcing you to sell.
Yeah, down by 30% from their peak. But that does not actually bother me. I am not worried about, as long as structurally there is no problem in all these companies. So I am still invested, and I should be invested till I continue with this interview. Later on, I don't know what I'm going to do. But more or less, actually, I am okay with them.
So I have a question on returns then, Vijay. The kind of returns that you would be expecting now going forward. We've got markets trading at record levels, right? And at the same time, there's a bit of an imbalance in the market. Given your portfolio, what would be an average return that you'd be looking at going forward?
Let me tell you, actually, I do not calculate like this, because it is very difficult to calculate your return on yearly basis.
Okay.
So I do not have any price target. I do not have any time target. So I just have a target of maybe I will sell through this company maybe for next 5 years or 10 years. I don't know. Although I can change my mind tomorrow. So, yeah.
I guess what investors are wondering is, can they expect above average returns? When they start to see this kind of euphoria in the market, expectations go higher, and I wonder if those are unrealistic.
No, but then you have to have a longer target. Maybe some stock will not move for 2 years. They will do nothing. Like Repro has done nothing in last 2 years. Even Sudarshan Chemical has done nothing in last 1 year. But before 1 year, it has already gone up by 10 times. So, that way you cannot calculate on year-to-year basis. Maybe they will not perform, they will do nothing for next 2 years. After that, in 1 year, they will go up 4 times and 5 times. So you will say that my average return is 15% or 20%.
I'll ask you a trick question. Now, if one goes by the leads, I would imagine that NDA2 is coming back. It's a matter of the seat and the final, adjustment, whether it's 280, 300 plus. So, from a market standpoint, NDA2 has made a comeback, right? The next factor for market would be who will be the finance minister, who will be the defense minister, what kind of economic policies they are likely to follow. Who will be the finance minister will be the single most indicator for market in terms of the continuity of this government. What would market like to see? Your call. Again, I'm not telling you to make a forecast here. Do you think markets would be happy if there is a change in the top 3 portfolios, or markets don't want to change in the top 3 portfolios, defense, home and finance?
I don't think home is or defense is so that much as it is. People are saying that this NDA1, this government was ruled from PMO only. This is what people are saying. So I am not so much focused on defense minister and home minister. Of course, prime minister and finance minister is very important. So there are only 2 names floating in the market, like either Mr. Arun Jaitley or Mr. Piyush Goyal. So. But ultimately, policy will be decided in the committee, whichever committee they must have formed. So I'm happy with both of them.
Okay, but we were talking about the broader end of the market, and you were also saying that this rally is a bit meaningless because there's just some of the large caps leading. What's the way forward for the broader end of the market that has taken a back seat now? Where do you see it headed? Mid caps?
No, I think, you see, when we are talking about mid caps, that means we are talking about thousands of shares. Right. And as I said that this index is deceptive. That does not give a true picture about mid cap or the main index. So, and all these 1,000 stocks have different pattern, different cycle, different advantage, different problem, different solutions. So there is no one size fits all. I cannot give the answer to. So as I said that I am just focusing on my 10, 20 or 30 shares. So I'm comfortable in that. And I think maybe they must have bottomed out. If they have not bottomed out now, maybe 6 months later they will bottom out. Right. As it is, I'm not in a hurry to sell them, even if they go up by 50% or even they double. Right. So as I do not have any price target.
Right. Vijay, you just heard out our team of reporters as well, giving us a sense of what's going on ground. Congress, the silence practically deafening. BJP, they're handing out all of those, mithai, and it seems to be, the atmosphere at least seems to be fairly abuzz right now. So, in light of what we're factoring in, I know you spoke of the banking sector, but give us a sense as to what are some of the other sectors that you would closely look at from an election standpoint.
That a lot of experts are talking about infrastructure sector. Okay, so maybe I will look something into that. And having said that, again I am saying that I do not have any money left. So for that I need to sell some shares, which I will not do. So now I am just watching the market, enjoying my life, doing yoga and meditation, and just giving interviews to people like you. That's it.
And singing as well.
And right? Singing as well. Yeah, right. That is very close to my heart. Yeah.
Okay, so Vijay, you're there with us the entire day. So thank you. You're there with us the entire days, I've been told. So, well, we can certainly, plan a little bit of session for our office people in terms of singing and, and taking. And that's not, you don't discuss that on public TV. But thank you for dropping by. Thank you for joining us, and we'll connect with you slightly later.